Now, this is a movie that was predicated on the concept, we're gonna do this for real. With each of you guys, what was the stunt or the thing that you had to do that you actually had to work up some nerve to do? What was scary on this movie for you?
Well, sometimes it's just the idea of when you're constantly colliding body on body, and the production designer forgot to make rubber like mats for bricks, so to cover the bricks. So when you see a man falling or being slammed onto bricks, it's bricks, and no matter what padding you put on, I've done this for years, the concussion, you know, it's just overwhelming. So your body just takes a big toll. So it isn't as though it's you have to man up, because these guys are fearless. If you said run through fire, which they did, and jump onto gravel full speed and throw a razor blade while rolling, and a building falling down on it, which he did. I mean, there is nothing they won't do. It's just the constant bombardment, the everyday, the heat, the injury, the infections, the bronchitis. These are the things that the audiences don't know about, that, you know, the actors that suck it up, and they're willing to, they love it. I mean, it's just all part of the job. And then you try to look like you're fresh and everything is, you don't realize that fight took 4 weeks of pounding every day back and forth to the hospital. So I think the single most unusual stunt was Jason. He was in here. I was down in Brazil, and I was saying, boy, I sure would like to use a big old airship. And they said, well, we have one in the jungle. It hasn't been used in 3 or 4 years. And it was on crates. And it was 63-year-old plane covered in rust and bat guana and bird guana. And I said, could you clean it up? Because I think it'd be great for the Expendables. So we put this thing together, and it was barely running. Anyway, Jason was willing to come out of a trap door in the front, because I saw a man working on it. I said, would you be willing to stand on the nose of a plane going straight down at 200 miles an hour on a plane that hasn't flown in years? And, you know, I can't insure you either. I said, we have to do it behind the bond company's back. He goes, when do I start? When do I start? And he did it. So, you know, all these things, these guys are all willing to do. If you said, you know, let a truck run over, then we go, what time?
Anybody get injured on this movie here from the guys on stage?
Well, he broke my neck.
What'd he do to you?
Broke my neck.
In my
He
defense.
broke your neck?
Yes, he did. He did. He snapped it. It's my fault, but it drove a little bone spur in there. So, Steve, thank you very much. I now have this little thing with 3 screws. People say, "Oh, go get screwed." I said, "I already have 3 times right here." Thank you.
Oh my God.
In my defense.
I thought you were happy to be a part of this.
I was happy to be a part of it, but no, it was a very physical fight scene. And one of the things I learned from Sly was, in working with him, was just intensity. We fought for 2 days, and it was always about intensity and bringing the level up, and he wanted it to look real. And when the lead actor,
Not that real.
when the writer, the lead actor, and the director tells you to kick the shit out of him, you kick the shit out of him. And Sly is a veteran filmmaker and an icon. If he told me to do the same thing tomorrow, I would.
Okay, so Sly.
I love this guy.
Sly.
I know,
you
he's
do
massive.
know who he is.
I know,
right?
he's massive. It's just stupid. Same thing when I said to Dolph, punch me as hard as you can in the chest, and he did. Next thing I know, I was in intensive care at St. John's Hospital for 4 days. Like, stupid.
Do you like hospitals?
No, I don't like hospitals, but
Do you
I
have
love
a
the smell
nurse
of ether.
fetish? You have a nurse fetish, is that
I
it?
tell you what, every time I do a film, and I said it before, that I don't get injured in, it really stinks. It's like, oh, Rhinestone was fun. I didn't get hurt last time my mom was shoot. So I go, you know what? Hurt me. Hurt me. If that's what it takes, cut my head off and use it for a bowling ball. I don't care.
Now, Sly, when you were coming up with this movie, you had options. You could have shot in 3D. You could have done a lot of CG. Why didn't you do any of that?
You know, I really thought about it, and I thought it'd be great to do a real live physical action film on 3D. But the more I thought about it, and the constrictions and restrictions of the way you have to film, I thought it kind of like smacked of desperation. Like, I love 3D, but with us doing it, I thought, why not just do it old school in a classical way and just leave it alone? But I was tempted, and I said, nah.
Okay, so you younger guys on the panel here, what did you learn from these old timers on this movie? Yes.
You know, basically, you know, being on screen with a legend that is Sly and everyone else that's involved in this movie. I mean, one thing is he was a mentor to everybody. Any question, anything you wanted to know, it was better than going through 4 years of film school, because this man, you know, he has created what the tentpole is. He created what action movies are today. And this movie being a love letter to every action movie fan. I mean, this guy could have sat in his mansion, he could have sat in his private plane and said whatever, but he got up and he said, I want to make something super special for you. And he taught it, and he created it. He said, he told me he was going to make me an action star. And I thank him for that. He will always be like my mentor and always be my pop in his biz, for real. He's awesome.
All I have to say is when I was on set and I saw your arms, I really wish your arm, look at them.
The gun show is here in San Diego. I just want to know.
You asked for it.
This is not implants, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just like, I wish your arms were my legs, you know? I mean, it's just crazy. I think your arms could walk a 300-pound man around, couldn't they?
The way Sly would come up and he would say, get the shot on those arms, get the shot. And I'm just telling you, it's the way action films were made, and it's the way to bring it back, and I just thank him. And I think everyone is appreciative. That's why this thing is the hottest thing out right now. We just thank him.
Well, I think the stunt guys and Sly especially wanted to be as realistic as possible, and I think that was obviously putting my hands on somebody and actually picking somebody up and dropping them on their head is kind of what I do. So they allowed, and it seemed like the higher I picked them up and the harder I slammed them on the ground, the happier they were. They got up smiling. So we just kept doing that, and they seemed to like it.
Now, when we were on set, you were, how do you balance shooting a movie and then training for a fight? And how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah.
I saw Steve in the gym just about every morning that we got off. My training camp for the fight after the movie didn't start till I got back actually to Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I had a full 8 weeks to get ready for that fight, but I needed to be in as good a shape as I could be coming out of that movie so the camp didn't kill me. And I managed to pull it off.
Now, like I said, your forearms just were intimidating. I mean, he had all these vertical lines just running down his arms. It just looked like pain waiting to be unleashed on people. It was brutal. Yeah. You have to understand, I'm a cream puff. I mean, look at me. I'm a geek, right? You know, like I'm on that set, and it's like every single person on here. Jason Statham's sitting there playing with knives, showing me all the different ways he could kill me. That's what this movie is.
We do between takes.